The snowstorm had already swallowed the streets when Sarah realized her elderly neighbor was missing. The world outside her living room window looked erased. Streetlights blurred into pale halos, trees bent under thick white weight, and the wind kept hurling snow like it was trying to bury the whole neighborhood before night could fully arrive. Sarah pressed her palm to the cold glass, squinting at the driveway across the street where Mr. Thompson's porch light usually glowed like a little lighthouse. Tonight, nothing, just darkness and drifting white. Whisper, her cat, sat on the windowsill beside her like a carved statue, small, gray, and built for winter, with a plush coat that made her look like she belonged in snow. But her eyes weren't soft. They were sharp, listening, watching. Sarah checked her phone again. No new texts, no missed calls. Her stomach tightened the way it always did when a bad thought finally found a place to land. Outside, a gust screamed down the street, and the snow leapt sideways in a sudden, violent sheet. But then, the snow grew heavier. It went from heavy to brutal in minutes, flakes thick as feathers, then a roaring blur, the kind of snow that didn't fall so much as attack. Sarah's lights flickered once, twice, like even the power lines were flinching. She turned from the window and paced, boots already in her hands, like her body knew before her mind did. Mr. Thompson was 82, polite, quiet, a former mail carrier who still sorted his junk mail neatly and waved at everyone like it was his job. He didn't just disappear, not in weather like this. A knock rattled her front door, urgent, hard, the sound of fear trying to be polite. Sarah yanked it open and was hit by a blast of freezing air that smelled like ice and metal. Across her porch stood Mrs. Delgado from 2 houses down, cheeks red, scarf half fallen, eyes wide. "Sarah, have you seen Mr. Thompson?" she shouted over the wind. Sarah's throat went dry. "No? Why?" Mrs. Delgado swallowed. "His daughter called me. She can't reach him. His car's still there. His back door's open." Sarah felt her heartbeat turn loud, thudding like a warning drum inside her ribs. Behind her, Whisper's ears flicked forward. News spreads that an elderly neighbor is missing. Within 10 minutes, the neighborhood group chat became a flood of messages. "Anyone seen him? He might have gone out to check the mailbox. He has that old habit of walking to the corner store, even in weather. It's getting worse. Someone call 911. Sarah pulled on her coat and zipped it up to her chin. She grabbed a flashlight, extra gloves, a scarf. Her fingers were clumsy from cold before she even stepped outside. Her phone vibrated, a call from Mr. Thompson's daughter, Emily. Sarah answered, voice shaking. "Emily?" "I can't reach him," she said fast, trying to sound controlled and failing. "His neighbor said the back door was open. He wouldn't leave it like that. He wouldn't." Sarah glanced back at Whisper, who had risen from the sill and now was standing, tail low, body tense. "We'll find him," Sarah promised, but the words felt fragile in the wind. She stepped onto her porch and nearly stumbled. The snow was deeper than she expected, already swallowing the steps. The wind shoved at her like an angry hand. Far down the street, she saw shapes, neighbors with hoods up, headlamps cutting weak beams through the storm. Someone's voice carried, "Mr. Thompson," and then disappeared into the howl. He shouldn't be out in this weather. The words came from Mr. Miller, standing at the edge of Sarah's driveway, shoulders hunched beneath a heavy coat. He looked like he'd aged 10 years since this morning. Sarah nodded, breath fogging in front of her. He might be confused, or he slipped. A siren wailed somewhere far away, muffled by snow. It sounded like it was underwater. Searchlights bobbed. People called his name, and still the neighborhood felt too quiet, like the storm was eating sound. Search efforts feel hopeless. Minutes crawled, then half an hour, then longer. Footprints vanished under fresh snowfall almost instantly. Tracks from cars disappeared like they'd never existed. Even the sidewalks were gone, just a smooth white surface with the occasional dark mouth of a driveway. Sarah's flashlight beam was a thin blade that cut only a few feet ahead. Beyond that was pure white chaos. She shouted until her throat burned and her voice returned to her as a broken echo. What sound comes to mind when snow falls heavily? A neighbor shouted, "We checked his porch and the street." Another yelled, "Try the park." Someone else said, "He might have gone behind the houses." Sarah's heart sank at every new suggestion because each one meant more distance, more time, more cold. Just when hope began to fade, Whisper made a sound, low, sharp, not quite a meow, more like a warning. Sarah turned back towards her front door. She'd left it cracked just in case she needed to run inside. Whisper was there on the threshold, eyes fixed on the storm, like she could see through it. Then, Whisper did something Sarah had never seen her do. Whisper leapt off the porch and plunged into the snow. Whisper becomes restless and focused. "Whisper, no!" Sarah shouted, lunging forward. The snow swallowed Whisper up to her chest, but she moved like she knew the rules of winter. Short, powerful steps, nose low, pausing, listening, then pushing forward again. "Whisper, slow down!" Whisper didn't slow. She angled left, toward the narrow gap between Sarah's house and the next, a place where the wind whipped even harder, funneling snow like a white river. Sarah hesitated. The neighbors were calling from the street, their lights swinging, but Whisper didn't look back. She knew something. Sarah felt it in the tight line of the cat's spine, the way her tail didn't flick with irritation, but held steady like a compass needle. If you couldn't see 5 steps ahead, what would you feel first? Whisper escapes into the snow. Sarah forced herself into the side path, hand against the fence for balance. The wind slammed at her face, snow stung her cheeks like needles. Whisper vanished for a second in the gust, then reappeared, gray against white, a moving shadow. Sarah kept the flashlight beam on her as best she could, but the storm kept tearing the light apart. A deep fear rose in Sarah's chest. What if I lose her too? Sarah pushed through a drift that reached her knees. Her breath came fast, loud inside her hood. "Whisper!" she called. Whisper stopped, body rigid, her head turned slightly, nose lifting into the wind like she caught something invisible. And in that moment, Whisper stopped running. Sarah stumbled up beside her, panting. "What is it? What do you—" Whisper moved again, but slower now, deliberate, zigzagging, pausing, pressing her paw into the snow as if testing it. Then Sarah saw it, a faint depression, a line that wasn't smooth, a subtle brokenness in the white surface. Moments later, footprints appeared. They were almost gone, softened by fresh snow, half-filled but unmistakable, the uneven print of an old boot dragging slightly. Sarah's pulse spiked. "Oh my God!" Whisper followed the footprints like she'd been built for this. Sarah lifted her radio app and called into the group chat voice channel, voice shaking. "I've found footprints behind my house, heading toward the back lots." A neighbor's voice crackled back, faint and frantic. "Stay there. Keep talking. We're coming." Faint footprints and clues appeared. The footprints led away from the houses toward the small wooded strip that bordered the neighborhood, a patch of trees and brush that looked harmless in summer and deadly in a storm. Whisper moved ahead, stopping every few feet to check the wind, to listen. Sometimes she pressed her ear sideways, like she was measuring silence. Sarah's hands were numb inside her gloves. She gripped the flashlight so tightly her knuckles ached. The footprints became worse, more scattered, as if Mr. Thompson had stumbled. Sarah's throat tightened. "Please, please be alive." Whisper's head snapped toward a low mound near a fallen tree, half hidden by drifting snow. She let out another sharp sound, insistent, urgent. The elder had fallen near a low mound, near a fallen tree. Whisper finds the elder collapsed or sheltering. Sarah rushed forward and nearly fell. The mound moved. "Mr. Thompson!" she cried, dropping to her knees in the snow. He was slumped against the tree trunk, half curled, hat gone, hair frosted white. His eyes were half open but unfocused. His breath was thin, barely visible. Sarah's heart felt like it cracked. "Can you hear me, Mr. Thompson?" His lips trembled. I was just the mailbox," he whispered, voice shredded by cold. Sarah pulled off her scarf and wrapped it around his neck, then shrugged out of her coat, fighting panic as the wind hit her sweater like knives. "You're okay," she lied softly, because sometimes hope had to be spoken into existence. Whisper climbed onto the snow beside him, pressing her warm body against his gloved hand, purring like a tiny engine. Mr. Thompson's fingers twitched against her fur. Sarah's eyes burned. "You didn't give up, did you?" She didn't know if she was talking to him or to Whisper. Emotional rescue moment. Sarah fumbled for her phone, hands shaking violently. 911, please, elderly man found, hypothermia, behind the neighborhood, near the wooded strip, by the fallen oak, please hurry. The operator kept her calm with steady instructions, but Sarah could hear the storm through the line like a threat. She rubbed Mr. Thompson's arms through his coat, trying to warm him without shocking his body. She kept her voice low, constant. Stay with me, okay?" Whisper remained pressed against him, purring louder now, refusing to move. The new fear hit Sarah. What if help can't reach us in time? Then she heard it, voices, close now, cutting through the wind. "Sarah, where are you?" someone shouted. "Here, over here! We found him!" The words burst out of Sarah like she'd been holding her breath for an hour. Emergency help arrives. Neighbors surged into view, Mr. Miller, Mrs. Delgado, 2 others, forming a wall against the wind. A few minutes later, paramedics appeared with a stretcher, moving carefully but fast, faces tense under their hoods. One paramedic crouched, checked Mr. Thompson's pulse, and nodded sharply. He's alive, cold but alive. Sarah's knees almost gave out. She clutched the fallen tree like it was the only solid thing in the world. They wrapped Mr. Thompson in thermal blankets, slid a heat pack near his core, and lifted him with practiced care. Whisper tried to follow immediately, stepping close, tail flicking once in agitation. Sarah scooped her up. "I've got you," she whispered, voice trembling. Whisper didn't fight. She just stared at Mr. Thompson, unblinking, as if making sure the humans did their part. The elder survives due to timing. Inside the ambulance's bright interior light, Sarah saw how pale Mr. Thompson's face was, how his lips looked tinted blue, and she realized if Whisper hadn't moved when she did, if Sarah had hesitated. The ambulance paramedic spoke gently. Another 20-30 minutes out there could have been different. Sarah swallowed hard, tears freezing on her lashes. Mr. Thompson's eyes fluttered open for a second. He looked at Sarah like he recognized her through a fog. Then his gaze drifted down to Whisper, nestled in Sarah's arms. His cracked lips moved. "Good kitty." Sarah laughed once, a broken sound that turned into a sob. quiet, snowy aftermath. Hours later, after the ambulance lights were gone and the neighborhood had returned to its muffled silence, Sarah stood in her living room with a mug of tea that had already gone cold. The storm still raged outside, but now it felt smaller, less powerful than it had earlier. Whisper sat on the rug, grooming one paw like nothing had happened, like she hadn't just walked into a blizzard and pulled a man back from the edge. Sarah crouched and stroked her cat's thick winter fur. Emotional realization of Whisper's role. "I kept thinking I was the one saving him, but it was you," she whispered. Whisper blinked slowly, calm and steady, then leaned into Sarah's hand, purring. Sarah exhaled, finally letting her body believe what her mind had been too afraid to accept. Mr. Thompson would wake up warm. He would see morning. He would call his daughter. He would live because a small cat had refused to ignore the storm's silence. Sarah looked back at the window, at the white world beyond it, and shivered, not from cold this time, but from the thin line that separates ordinary nights from tragedies. And she knew she would never again underestimate the quiet instincts of a creature who listened to the world in ways humans couldn't. If this story moved you, like the video, comment, and subscribe for more heroic cat tales.